Will you have to pay the child tax credits you received last summer this tax season? Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Manga Tax channel. My name is Raul and I'm an enrolled agent. When Congress passed the American Rescue Plan last year, they decided to increase the child tax credit for all taxpayers who had children under the age of 17. They decided to increase the $2,000 credit up to $3,600 for kids under 6 years of age and $3,000 for kids between 6 years and 17 years of age. This was to help people struggling with the COVID-19 pandemic. It was meant to be like a stimulus of some sorts. So instead of getting the whole tax credit on your tax return, they were allowing you to get half of it up front to help you now when you needed it, and the other half when you prepare your tax return, which is now. Taxpayers were given the option to opt in or opt out on getting these advance payments. They were to come as a direct deposit into a bank account or as a paper check in the mail. If you had a kid that was under 6 years of age, you got $300. If you had a kid that was between 6 and 17, you got $250 a month. This started back in July. So July 15 all the way up to December 15, that money kept coming in and it ended at the end of the year. If you decided not to take any of it, in other words, you opted out, you are able to take the entire credit, depending on how many kids you have, on your tax return this year. This year, you will have to report on your tax return what you received as an advanced child tax credit payment in 2021. To assist taxpayers out there, the IRS mailed out Form 6419. This form will show how much money you received in 2021 and how many qualifying children you had to qualify to receive this money. If you file a married filing joint return, then you're gonna get two letters. The primary taxpayer will receive one letter with half of the credit. The secondary taxpayer will receive a letter with the other half of the credit. So if you receive $3,000 in child tax credit, one taxpayer will get a form with $1,500 on it, and the other taxpayer will get another form with $1,500 on it. Your tax preparer needs to see this form because he or she will need this form in order to properly prepare your tax return this year. So I want you guys out there to listen to this carefully because, as you know, nothing is perfect in life. So some of you may actually receive a Form 6419 with the incorrect information on it. And if you report the wrong number on your tax return, this will possibly delay your tax return. And if anybody knows about how the IRS is working these days, they're still behind because of the COVID-19 pandemic. I mean, it's pretty brutal out there. And now that the tax season is in full-fledged, it's just gonna be bad. You might not see your refund until 2023. That's how bad it's been out there. But anyway, the way you want to handle this is by reporting the correct number. So where are you going to get this information? Well, on the IRS.gov website, which is the IRS website, you can log into your online account. If you don't have one, you can register just like any other website out there. You're going to pick a username, a password, and it's going to go through a series of steps to verify who you are. And eventually, you'll be able to have command of your account. And, that'll be another video about the benefits of having an IRS online account. But basically, you'll be able to go in there and look at your child tax credit payments, and you'll see what you got every month and how many months you got, and you'll be able to see the total amount and give this information to your tax preparer, and he will or she will report it, and you should be fine. Your tax return should come back in time, and you can enjoy the other half of your child tax credit. Okay, so let's get into it. Will you have to pay your child tax credit back this year? I know it was nice getting that money, but will the IRS want it back? Well, it depends on a couple of things. So it depends on your AGI, or also known as your adjusted gross income. If you're married filing joint, or qualifying widow, and your income is under 60 grand, then you get to keep the whole thing. No if and no buts. If you're head of household and your AGI, adjusted gross income, is under 50 grand, you get to keep the whole thing. If you're married filing separate or as a single person, and your income is under $40,000, then you get to keep all your money. So now, finally, let's talk about how the child tax credit can be reduced. And when I mean reduced, I mean it goes back to the original $2,000 credit, child tax credit. So if you're a married filing joint couple or a widower, to look at the previous example, once you hit $150,000, that's your AGI, you start losing that extra amount that was passed to help people. And for every $1,000 that you go over your $150,000 AGI, you lose $50 until eventually it is all gone. For head of household, it's $112,000. So once you hit $112,000, every thousand after that, you lose $50 until the extra amount expires. And then finally, married filing separate or single taxpayers, it's $75,000 for AGI. So once you go over that, every $1,000 you're losing 50 until it finally gets down to the 2,000. And basically that's it. So far this season, what I've seen is the child tax credit program has worked. The reason I say this is because it did its job during the summer. It provided people with extra money. People that needed it, that maybe weren't working or were still on unemployment, or maybe working but not at full capacity, or needed the extra money because everything's expensive now. But that's a different story or a different topic to talk about. And I was one of the ones that was worried that people were going to end up paying it back once they did their tax return. But what I've seen so far is people are making out, it's actually working. They got the benefit in the summer, and they're getting it back, they're getting the other half back as a refundable credit. So it's actually working out. People are getting refunds, so they actually have some extra cash now, even after they filed their tax returns. So that's the story. I mean, if you made so much money that you lose all the child tax credit, then you don't really have to worry about it. Is the way I'm thinking. But that is what I have for today. Once again, thank you. Second video. It took a little bit to come back because it is tax season and time's limited. But it was fun again making this other video. If you have any questions or comments, comment below. Hit the like button, subscribe, click on that bell so you can see when I upload another video. Like I said, you can send me a message, whatever you need. I'm out there for questions and suggestions. And thanks again, and we'll see you soon.